It's actually through being a first mover in the market. Because what happens today is what you did 5 years ago. You need to skate to where the puck will be. Today you move in a totally different trajectory, and I think the future is very bright for advanced packaging. I would say glass core substrate specifically will be the future. Ideas come out, when a time requires such an idea to be in fruition. I was actually the first to implement just-in-time manufacturing systems in semiconductor industry. So I set some matrix for each of these operations, and I came back again, like 1-2 years later, they hit all the targets. The insight that you need to have very simple messaging, get full support of the team to achieve a strategy. I like to inspire and motivate teams to exceed their targets with a vision. If you change your direction too much, people cannot follow you. People look at the glory of it. I think there's a lot of detail work that you need to do. Invest in yourself. Continue to learn. Be curious. It sometimes misses because of the aggressive schedules that put through. Leading foundries have to work with pushing the envelope beyond what it normally does, so that it's able to prepare for the customer's next generation. Being first in TCB high volume manufacturing, and also being first in TCB for active oxide removal. I think it's infinite.
There's no limits.
I think it's depending on the human creativity.
Yeah.
Today, we speak with Chun Hoon Lim, Senior Vice President and CEO of Semiconductor Solutions Advanced Packaging at ASMPT, a distinguished veteran in back-end manufacturing.
Leveraging over 30 years of profound expertise, CK has spearheaded significant advancements in chip assembly and packaging technologies. He plays a vital role in SMPT's global strategy, enabling high-performance and reliable semiconductor solutions.
Prepare for an insightful discussion on navigating the complexities of advanced packaging and how his leadership is accelerating innovation across the mobile, automotive, and AI sectors. Let's dive in.
Hello, and welcome back to the Semiconductor Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Salah Nasri. And whether you are an industry veteran or someone who's just curious about semiconductors, this is your podcast. I have a little favor before I start this wonderful session that is lined up for you. We have more than 100,000 views, but only 3,000 subscribers. I need you, yes, you, click on that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed the podcast, please share it to all your friends and contacts out there. The more followers we get, the more subscribers we get, the more powerful and interesting I can make this podcast for you and have the capability to bring guests like I have today. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is without further ado a great honor and pleasure to welcome my dear friend who I've known for many, many years, who has actually opened doors for myself to be where I am today and has assisted in the processes and advancements in advanced packaging. It is none other than CK Lim, who is the CEO of the Advanced Packaging Business Unit at ASMPT. CK, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to have you. So CK just flew all the way from the US. So it's I really appreciate you being here. CK, you've had such a huge impact on many people's lives in our industry. What does that mean to you? Seeing where things started off, and then to where you are right now, how does that make you feel?
I think looking back, you can connect the dots. Started in the industry, as an engineer in the semiconductor industry. And as I progressed, I think I had a love for the technology, so I deep dive a lot on the technical side. Subsequently, I spread myself out wide across different functional areas, and then I think gradually I was given the opportunity for leadership position in the semiconductor industry. And since then, I think I've been moving. Each assignment every time is a different job role. So I think this is how I grew my leadership position inside the industry as well as within ASMPT.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, could you share with us how you got into semiconductors? Like, what was the trigger? What seduced you to come into this industry?
Salah, actually, to be frank, it's a toss between commodity trading, because I was offered a job in commodities trading, and then the other job was in semiconductor industry. I chose the later. I guess I wanted to use my education, industrial engineering, in the semiconductor field, which is really an emerging high-tech industry at that time. What I thought was a few years ended up to be a 30 years career in semiconductor industry. No regrets. It's a global industry that drives human progress in every respect, making everything smarter.
And, what's interesting is that your career, looking at your resume, it spanned engineering, manufacturing, and then global management roles. I'd be intrigued to know is like which role or experience had the most significant impact on your leadership style today?
I think each of them built on each other. I think I was privileged to have some real good bosses who coached me, mentor me. And I think the area where really spurs my interest a lot is actually in the area of setting de facto standards in the industry. So I was successful doing so very early in my career in the area of, I'm an industrial engineer. I was actually the first to implement just-in-time manufacturing systems in semiconductor industry. At that time, I think the VPs and all that does not even know what is queue time. Never heard of queuing theory, right? So it was quite amazing that I was able to transform the manufacturing operations from a very low efficiency to very high efficiency. So I set some matrix for each of these operations, what kind of target it can hit. And eventually when I left the company and I came back again, like 1-2 years later, they hit all the targets. So for me, this was quite rewarding in the sense that I managed to use my industrial engineering experience to achieve first in the semiconductor industry. And we moved from sequential manufacturing to batch, like what you call just-in-time manufacturing. So I think really a big achievement that was recognized, and in a way, you can say that it helped to further my boss career.
So he's taking credit for the hard work that you did.
He ran out of ideas, I guess, so.
When you talk about mentors, like, who would you say were one of your key mentors in your life, in your career?
It was a Dutch man who gave me the insight that you need to have very simple messaging. You need to have good alignment in the team members to get full support of the team to achieve a strategy. So I think, aligning the team towards a common strategy and giving everybody the resources to do the job and rewarding them subsequently, I think is probably the best learning I got. Yeah. He's retired since, so.
Oh, is it? Okay. You still in touch with him? Or?
Yeah, he's still in touch with him. As a friend.
No, I have this thing called the rapid fire game. So this one is definitely not scripted. So this is going to be just short, quick answers that you can reply back. So we wrap up this wonderful podcast. So first things first, let's go. First thing you do every morning.
Drink my water.
You
must be fit first before you can do anything.
You drink your water, marvelous. One word your colleagues would use to describe you.
Maybe creative.
Creative. What did you want to be when you were 10 years old?
I got to think about it because it keep on changing, right, as you evolve. I think I don't really have
You didn't know when you were 10 or when you were 7?
Maybe older.
Yeah, you didn't know what you want to be.
I think I wanted to be a businessman.
Businessman. The same as me, man. The same as me. Favorite hobby outside of semiconductors?
Hiking.
Text, call, or video. What's your go-to communication style?
I think text, because you can have a chance to correct it.
That's a good one. What's the most important trait for a semiconductor leader? One word.
Having a strategic mindset. and always forward-looking and looking into the future. Because what happens today is what you did 5 years ago.
Okay.
It consists of what you did 5 years ago, 3 years ago. Thing does not happen by itself. So I think, having the foresight, what's going to happen, and then it's a bit like playing ice hockey, right? You need to skate to where the puck will be.
Yeah. So it's foresight is the key one.
Yeah.
What's one leadership lesson you had to learn the hard way?
You need to be consistent and always reinforce the message. If you change your direction too much, people cannot follow you. I think this is very important in leadership.
Biggest misconception about being a CEO?
People look at the glory of it. I think there's a lot of detail work that you need to do, and also administrative.
Admin work, yeah. And only you can do it. You can't even outsource it. If not semiconductors, what industry would you be in?
Probably software, I think.
Software.
Yeah.
Really? Wow. What's the best advice you ever received?
Invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself.
Continue to learn. Be curious. One of the things that people tell me is that I can talk about all kinds of subjects. So I think, when I was younger, I developed interest reading all kinds of books. So whether it is philosophy, whether it's history, whether it's humor, Actually, by the way, it's very difficult to be a comedian. It's a lot. Takes a lot of effort, at the punchline that works. So I think the important thing is to really have a broad spectrum of interest so that, you can have conversations with anybody.
Panel or wafer? Pick one fast.
Both.
He keeps his customers happy. Glass substrates, hype or the future?
I would say glass core substrate specifically will be the future.
Okay. Yeah. Co-packaged optics, 5 years away or already here?
Development is ongoing. I think the takeoff will really be in 2 years, 3 years' time. I think especially when 800 gig transmission is massively adopted, I think this will really be the takeoff for co-packaged optics.
What's one buzzword in packaging that needs to go?
Wedge bonding.
Gone. What's the boldest innovation ASMPT is betting on now?
We are betting on end-to-end solutions for hybrid bonding to really solve the customer's pain point.
No.
Although we are really a bonded company, but really work with partners to deliver the most optimal end-to-end solutions.
Who do you admire the most in the semiconductor ecosystem in your whole career?
Actually, there are a couple of leaders that is worth admiring, but I think the one that lasts the test of time, I think, is probably Maurice Chang. He started his career very late in starting TSMC because I knew the original sponsors of TSMC. He actually had a difficult time trying to grow the company, getting, you can read it in the books as well, getting funding from different companies. But I think he was resilient, and then he grew the company at a advanced age, and today TSMC is probably the company with the most aggressive culture from top to bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
What region will lead packaging innovation in the next decade?
What companies?
Region.
Today, I think it's Asia.
Asia, yeah.
I think over time you will see that diffusing because as the technologies mature, more countries will adopt it. So I think in the future you could see countries like India being one of the potential countries. Of course, today you have Taiwan, you have Korea, you have America being the leading countries. Beside, some of the IDMs located in Malaysia and so on. But I believe, the emerging countries like China, India, even maybe Middle East, will eventually be able to have this technology. So I think the question is more what kind of timeline rather than which country. Because eventually diffusion of technology happens. Yeah, it's just like adoption of technologies. Once the infrastructure is there and it makes sense, I always joke about technologies, right? If you want to be just in time, manufacture in the ship. So you start the process when the ship leaves the port, and then when it arrives on the other end, it's finished.
That was a unique supply chain. CK, if you could instantly solve one challenge in the semiconductor value chain, what would it be?
Well, personally, you cannot solve it by yourself, right? You need partners. But I think today the regional supply chain is a challenge. So I think that is where how to optimize some of these regional supply chains.
Yeah. One company you'd love to collaborate with outside of ASMPT.
I think we're working with them now. So
okay, NDA. Can't say it.
Okay.
Finish this sentence. The future of advanced packaging is
infinite.
Infinite. Wow.
I think it's infinite. I think
There's no limits.
I think it's depending on the human creativity.
Yeah.
Depending on human creativity. I think the architectures will evolve. We will see very advanced architectures and ideas as time evolves. So I believe, creativity is infinite actually in a way, in many fields, in many domains. I think even sometimes when creativity comes, around different parts of the world at different times, they all seem to come at the same time, almost
right.
Plus minus a few months, even though they are not connected to each other or they communicate with each other. So I think in a way, ideas come out, when a time requires such an idea to be in fruition.
Yeah.
So I really believe infinite.
Last question. What's your favorite book that you've ever read?
It's crazy. Probably the same book that Elon Musk read, Restaurant at the End of the Universe, or Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Wow.
I think the Restaurant at the End of the Universe, that one is actually a sequel.
It's interesting, because actually one of the questions that I have for you as well, because we have this tradition whereby the last person leaves a question for the next person.
Yeah.
And the question that was left for you is if you could go to space, which planet would you visit first?
Saturn, maybe.
Saturn? Why Saturn?
Because it's an ambitious goal. It's very far away.
Look at that.
You want to do something, choose a far target.
That's nice. And I mean, look, CK, you've gone through many journeys, in this mundane world of semiconductors. You've seen it all. The ups and downs. It's the most cyclical industry out there in the world. What would you say are the leadership philosophies that have guided you through these complex situations of complex teams globally?
Yeah. I would say actually my leadership style is more trending towards transformation. I like to inspire and motivate teams to exceed their targets with a vision, and clear deliverables. So I think, again, aligning the teams behind a very, very clear strategy is very important. So I think this is an area where once the team are aligned, I think you can empower people and delegate, and people will do their thing to achieve the strategy.
For the audience who are not aware of ASMPT, what is ASMPT? What is it about?
Yeah, ASMPT is the world's number one equipment company in assembly and SMT. We enable the digital world in a sense that we have really end-to-end solutions, whether in the space of assembly or whether in the space of SMT. We basically enable the most advanced semiconductors. The origin of the company actually started from Arthur Di Peldo. He's a serial entrepreneur. He started ASM International. Subsequently, he started ASMPT, and the last was ASML. So actually, between all these three companies, actually, these three companies that he left behind as a legacy empower, the most advanced semiconductors, whether it's in the space of EUV, in the space of atomic layer division, or whether it's in the area of advanced packaging. Yeah.
Wow. So advanced packaging, without a doubt, has become a critical differentiator in semiconductor manufacturing. You've been at the forefront of the game.
Yeah.
supporting some of the greatest companies in the world in semiconductor manufacturing. From your perspective, what makes advanced packaging such a game changer in in the industry, in the landscape today? And most importantly, I think CK is I'm talking from my personal perspective. I saw the shift in 2020, got in a bit late in 2015, but you caught onto it a bit earlier. What was it? What was it that made you say, this is what we're going to focus on?
Yeah. Sometimes you get into the industry by working with customers. So in this particular case, we worked with a lead customer that was willing to invest in co-developing a new technology in advanced packaging. In this case, it was TCB. So if you look at, today, the semiconductor industry has really reached a pivotal inflection point where, just stringing transistors alone cannot deliver the optimal balance of power, performance, and cost.
And I think that's where, the ASMPT is leading the way in the interconnect technologies for logic or HBM and of course now silicon photonics.
Yeah.
I mean, could you briefly walk us through what differentiates your offerings with this, with a very highly competitive industry for you guys to still remain at that top level?
Yeah. So ASMPT is strategically positioned at the forefront of these three critical interconnect areas that are reshaping the advanced semiconductor landscape. ASMPT's collaborative approach, precision engineering, and system-level expertise are key differentiators that set it apart. For logic, for advanced logic chip bonding, our TCB technology is an industrial workhorse, delivering unmatched precision, scalability, and reliability. So our differentiators, like for example, our third generation TCB bonders is able to achieve plus minus 0.5 microns placement accuracy. Yeah, so if you think about it in relation to our competitors, we are 2 to 3 times better. We have patented optical alignment that corrects die shift in real time during bonding, critical for sub 10 micron bump pitch and in advanced logic nodes. In terms of AOR fluxless innovation, our exclusive active oxide removal process eliminates flux residue and underfill voids, enabling direct copper-to-copper interconnects without cleaning steps. Competitors rely on traditional flux processes, which risk contamination and yield loss. In terms of throughput and scalability, our TCB tools are able to achieve the highest UPH in the industry for chip-to-wafer bonding. This is twice as fast as our legacy systems. This scalability is what is leading customers to adopt our TCB in high volumes for 2.5D and 3D production. We have by far the largest install base for TCB in the world. So I think in relation to our competitors, we are probably having a scale of 10 to 1. Total install base.
10 to 1.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's what I mean. But how do you reach that type of success in the game? I mean, it's impressive.
It's actually through being a first mover in the market.
Early adopters, risk-taking.
Yeah, risk-taking, doing a lot of co-development with lead customers. Most obviously, if you look at the solutions we develop, when you develop it in logic and you deploy it down to HBMs, that technology is much easier to deploy than the other way around because the precision that you achieve in logic is far superior compared to HBM. And we're using this technology to bond HBM, I think, help us to penetrate adjacent markets. And in terms of HBM, today we able to stack up to 16 high HBM stacks with less than 1 micron accuracy. And the recent relaxation of the stacking height specs from 600 microns to 775 microns extends the dominance of our precision in TCB in HBM and pushes out the need for larger adoption of hybrid bond. And we also have an edge in terms of thermal management. Our TCB localized heating minimizes warpage in tall HBM stacks compared with hybrid bond full wafer annealing, which risks yield loss at scale. The active oxide remover fluxless for HBM ensures void-free underfill in tight HBM gaps less than 15 microns, which is really a key differentiator versus our competitors' flux-based approaches. We are also future-proofing our capabilities. We are already moving beyond 16 high HBMs, and we are also working on advanced hybrid bonding tools to go beyond, like 20 high. So we see hybrid bonding as a strategic complement for logic HBM integration, and we balance our resources in terms of development and adoption.
When you look at it, I mean, of course, one of the key things that we've kind of seen through that process coming into the next stage of advanced packaging, silicon photonics and co-package optics. I mean, CKDs are now, I mean, especially at our summits, this is like one of the mandatory topics we must cover. And they're gaining significant momentum.
Yeah.
What do you believe are the biggest opportunities and challenges for ASMPT for wider adoption of these technologies?
Yes, Salah. In silicon photonics, rightly so, it's really hot. Our Omicron solution, which is a subsidiary of ASMPT, delivers sub 0.2 micron accuracy for die attach, enabling wafer level passive alignment of optical elements, critical for scalable photonics packaging. We also solve fiber to chip challenges, and we are collaborating with Paramount to address the industry biggest bottleneck, offering a 10x productivity improvement in fiber connectivity versus legacy methods. And our high volume systems are able to support data center and telecom markets. And we believe this market will grow at a compounded growth rate of 25% in the immediate few years.
Wow. And, one thing that it's amazing what you guys are doing in terms of innovation and technology.